Good morning, folks. You're tuned to Car Connection, where the coffee's hot, the tools are ready, and the talk is always tuned up. I'm your host, Niall Motormouth Jenkins, coming to you straight from the Car Connection workshop, where we mix a little humor, a little know-how, and a whole lot of horsepower. Here, it's not just about fixing cars. It's about keeping you rolling, saving you money, giving you the confidence to understand what's under that hood. From the classics to the commuters, the weird noises to the what the heck moments, we've got you covered. So grab your coffee, sit back, join the crew, because this is Car Connection, your Monday through Saturday morning pit stop for stories, smarts, a few good laughs. And I'm Niall Motormouth Jenkins in the driver's seat, shifting it into gear this morning. Well, a good morning to you as we wrap up the month of March. Still not quite sure, did it come in like a lamb and go out like a lion, or vice versa? Yeah, send me your comments. Let me know what you're thinking. What are you thinking on that? Because I'm torn. I'm torn about it. So, good morning if you're heading out on your morning drive and scooting through the drive-thru, grabbing your favorite morning beverage and a snack. Check your order. Lock it down in your cup holder. In just a moment, we will have a swiggy together, and we will also have the morning weather. We'll have Tuesday morning's weather. Welcome to episode 125 in season 2. I thought you'd ask, so I wrote it down. What are you going to be talking about, Motormouth? Okay, ladies, you might not like this, but it's okay. I got your back. Spring cleaning and maintenance. Yeah. Not only does the homestead qualify to be on that list, but so does your automobile. And what does that mean for you? A lot less stress, because at the end of the day, you're going to be in the know, not in the unknown. And we'll touch on that in just a few moments. Car Connection in this podcast is available to you now on our YouTube channel. I just found out yesterday I have to go in and make them all public now. I'm not sure how that happened. My understanding was click public and they transfer over from our podcast site, iHeartRadio, and RSS feed, and they populate and everything's good. But apparently it's not good. So there's some housekeeping to take care of there, and I will get on that today, my friends. Yeah, there's only 125 podcasts that need to be labeled public so that you can actually listen to them through our YouTube channel. So the homepage of our website, as we speak about all the time, if you're joining us for the very, very first time, welcome aboard. We love our new visitors to our podcast. Spread the news. Our podcast is available on all the platforms: Spotify, Amazon, Apple, and iHeartRadio, and wherever you're pulling your podcast from. Now we're making the podcast available right through our YouTube channel, and all our other platforms are all available for you. We've got links created on the homepage of our website. That's where everything is available to you. If you'd like to join us on our community, Facebook, Instagram, Stevensvilleontheweb.ca. We have a beautiful profile page there. I'm labeled as the expert. My professor one time said, you know what the meaning of an expert is? He says that's when you're washing your car and you back out of the driveway and you run over the garden hose. An expert. I never got that one, so help me out with that. Can you explain that a little more? You can also click on our YouTube channel on the top right-hand corner, and we have Car Connection Motormouth merchandise available to you in our online store. Safely order what you want and purchase it on the spot. And when you do that, you're joining our crew in our fight against addiction to help those who've made that decision. Today's the day. I'm sick and tired, fed up, disgusted, and bored dealing with addiction and blaming everyone else. It's your time. That's when it's your time. And we want to help them get to a total freedom addiction campus, Canada and USA, where that's exactly what they deal with. There's a new life waiting for them there, and we thank you in advance. Grab some merch and join the fight against addiction. Also on our homepage, we have all the logos for our program partners that make this podcast available, as well as our YouTube channel and all our platforms. So we want to make sure that we say thank you to them and give them a plug. So thank you to Louise and Earl Grant at City Auto Sales and Leasing. They've been in the pre-owned automobile industry sales for almost 25. I think it's actually over 25 years now. Great people, husband and wife team. They're car guys. They sell no junk there. I can guarantee you can buy with confidence and be treated with nothing less than honesty and integrity. Fair prices, low mileage, quality vehicles. They're GTA's premier pre-owned auto store. They also have in-house financing and leasing available to you. You've got a great couple there. If they don't have the vehicle you're looking for specifically, connect. That's the whole idea. Connect. Let them use their resources to see if that vehicle you're looking for is out there and if it's in really, really good shape with low mileage, because they're not going to bring anything in that they wouldn't sell to themselves. Thank you to our certified financial planning professionals. They're there for you to sit down and have that hour and a coffee. Leave your wallet and your purse at home. They're not going to sell you anything. They're going to listen to your questions, find out where you are and where you want to be. And they're going to put together a plan for you, if you wish, to help you with your portfolio, debt retirement, estate planning, putting the whole package together. And that's not something you do yourself, folks. Tax planning, arrange a mortgage for you through the mortgage department, and that's where I've had a mortgage for almost 15 years. And I'll tell you what, would never think of going back to the bank ever, ever, ever. I love it there. They treat you well, and there's no games at all. Straight up and great rates. Life insurance, critical illness insurance, I can happily say, because of Tony Miele and Larry Tetro and 20 years of knowing them and working alongside them, it's been an absolute blessing, because that area is taken care of and you don't have to think about it. And again, it comes back to automobiles, right? You can living in the unknown or living in the know. So connect with them. Either one, their logos are on the homepage. Click, open, visit them, and thank you for you to get connected. Thanking you for doing that for you. Do it for you, not for me. Do it for you. If you have investments at the bank, you need to let them review them, because you're going to be quite shocked at how much money you could have made had you sent them elsewhere. That's all I'm going to say. Thank you to the Grimo family, Niagara Block, 5000 Montrose Road, Niagara Falls, building Canada since 1931. We're looking forward to having the brothers join us and talk about the history of Niagara Block. And that's pretty cool. I've seen some of the pictures from 1931 in Niagara Falls when they were already working and creating blocks and building supplies and whatnot. Very interesting to see then compared to now what Niagara Falls looks like. Building Canada since 1931. They have all the building supplies you can imagine. Hardscape landscaping materials to help create that beautiful backyard space you've always wanted. So connect. They are well connected in the construction industry to line you up with a referral contractor to start the job, finish the job, and you enjoy the results of their workmanship. How cool is that? And thank you to all the volunteers, 60 some odd volunteers at Crystal Ridge Dream Center, serving men, women, children, single moms, widows, orphans, meals, love, and hope, changing lives one at a time in the Niagara region. They don't get any outside support, so my job to help them is to make awareness of what they do there. So click on their logo and open up their profile page and check them out. You will be blown away the amount of effort that goes in to help those in the entire Niagara region where we're located. They feed Tuesdays and Fridays, so today is a hot meal out the side door. They've been averaging somewhere around 260 meals to 300 meals. And again, if it wasn't for individuals donating and local businesses donating, they would not be able to do that. In times when community support is so crucial, Crystal Ridge Dream Center is a beacon of compassion. They're out there shining their light and transforming the lives of many in the Niagara region. So check them out if you feel that there's something you could do there. Donate some food or gift cards for groceries, gas money, because they need that to keep the van that picks up the supplies. I don't think that thing cools down, to be honest with you. And they can always use a donation. And don't think a little is not enough. A lot of little combined together makes a big, and it makes a huge difference there. So thank you to all our program partners. Total Freedom Expressions, that puts together our online store, doing what they do best, helping those find that new life, because if you can't fight what you can't see. They're an alternative addictions program bringing Christ-centered healing and restoration to individuals and families enslaved by cycles of addiction and destructive behaviors. They deal with the good, the bad, and the ugly. That's what they deal with. Programs don't work. And Total Freedom Addiction Campuses are not a program. I'll tell you that right now. They are not. It is a life change. That's what has to happen. Okay, so life change. Speaking of life change, spring is here. Spring has sprung, and I actually heard a lawnmower yesterday, and I had to go outside and check it out. Yeah, I was deeply into the front end of the 2010 Dodge Grand Caravan, and I'm happy to say the passenger side, replacing all the steering suspension components, the lower control arm, all those nasty things in the front that keep your vehicle stable on the road and safe, are all installed. So now it's ready for an alignment. It has to have an alignment. Almost every vehicle out there right now needs an alignment. The road conditions are horrific. I just can't figure out where all that money's going from the purchase of every liter or quart of gasoline, where the monies was supposed to go to fix roads. I'm still watching. I'm still looking at the same potholes big enough to swallow a Hyundai Accent. Yeah, and that is front end destruction, and we talked about that yesterday. So if you missed that podcast, you gotta collect that one, because we all need to know and understand what our suspension and steering components do, what they're really doing. And let's jump into the weather right now, because it's getting hairy out here on the south shores of Lake Erie. We had quite a rumbler come through last night, I'll tell you, and it shook the planet on our side of the world. But right now it's 51 degrees with thunderstorms, and the rain is coming down sideways here and hitting the studio windows. So if you hear a little rattling, it's not me. It's the outside weather. So 51 degrees right now with thunderstorms. Wind is making it feel colder, about 39 degrees. Rainy conditions from 7 a.m. to 11 a.m. with cloudy conditions expected at around 11 a.m. this morning, our time. Today's temperature range will be from 49 to 59. That's getting up there. That's good. We're getting closer to being able to do the 30-day fuel savings challenge. Yeah, that's good. 49 to 59 is going to feel more like, with the wind, 37 to 51. And what do we got for precipitation today? Well, you might want to build that canoe. You might want to get the kayak down. 1.05 inches. And I did see a yellow alert. Yeah, we got some yellow clouds in there. That means severe thunderstorms. So be careful out there. Drive safe. The heavy rain can also make, the roadways slickery as well. but also it can also hinder your visual of the road. It really, really can when the rain's coming down hard. How many have experienced that before? I've a few times down this way. We've had some really, really bad storms come in off the lake, and the water is it's like a wall of water. And as you see it coming across the lake, you just see this wall of white. And that's the rain, how thick it is. And very difficult to drive in, and it's just smarter just to back off on that accelerator. If you're having a hard time seeing the road before you end up in the rhubarb, just pull off for a couple of minutes and let that flash flood head out. They're calling them now micro bursts. That's what's going on. So it's so important to make sure that you have tires that have a lot of tread, because when a lot of water is coming down with these microbursts, it's very easy to hydroplane. And that just means that your vehicle's riding on top of the water instead of the tire tread squirting it out the sides and getting the tread surface clean of that water. And if you hydroplane, the vehicle's just going to go where it wants to go. Inertia takes over. That's a big word for Tuesday morning. Inertia. Yeah. Things in motion stay in motion. And when you're hydroplaning, it's in motion, and weight and balance all factors in, and that vehicle's going to go wherever it wants to go. And that's why it brings me back. I'm just taking a little step back this morning and spending a little more time with you on spring maintenance. It happens everywhere this time of year, does it not? You know, if I had a penny for every leaf bag that gets sold over the next 2 months, yeah, that would be good, wouldn't it? Just think about it. If you got a penny for every leaf bag, yard waste bag that gets sold in the next 60 days around the world, you'd be doing all right. I think you could probably, get that super extra large cup of coffee in the morning through the drive-thru and not feel guilty. So there are 2 ways, if you haven't heard this before and you're joining us for the first time, before we get into the nuts and bolts, we should have our morning swiggy together. So thank you to my brothers, Tony Miele, Larry Tetro, 50 years combined as fiduciaries, 2 of the best in all of Canada. These guys, they know their stuff. You're not going to tell them things that they've never heard before. Like, you're not going to give them oh, really? No condemnation. Get that hour and a coffee booked. Leave your wallet, leave your purse at home, and put all the cards on the table and watch what happens. You're going to get peace of mind. So let's say thank you, Tony and Larry, for all that you're doing out there, helping people get their finances back in order, get some pressure off of them, get the debt reducing so that they can breathe. And thank you for giving us our morning swiggy on 3, 2, 1. Ready? Good. 3, 2, 1. Yeah, I think the microburst is over here. It's gone really quiet. Is that a good thing? Sometimes it can be, and sometimes it's the calm before the storm. Living along the lake is very interesting weather. We get a lot of wind. We get a lot of microbursts come in out of nowhere, and the wind just picks right up. And I'll tell you, if you're out on Lake Erie, being the most shallowest Great Lake of them all, it churns up nasty in a matter of minutes. It really does. You do not want to be out there on a questionable weather day. How long would your car last if you actually followed a proper maintenance plan? And that's what we're turning back on a little bit this morning. It is spring. We're going to be spring cleaning the homestead inside and out. We're going to be spring cleaning and tidying up our yards, gathering up all the branches, dead branches and leaves and whatnots, and raking the stones out of the grass from the snowblower, launching them almost into another planet. Yeah, I got some of that going on because we have a relatively large parking lot out front of the Car Connection shop studio. And yeah, I know the snowblower was firing out gravel into the front yard. And mind you, it's put some out there quite a ways, I might add. And I don't like hitting those with Henry, my very old John Deere riding lawnmower. It's actually a miniature tractor, not a riding lawnmower. It's a tractor. It has attachments. I don't want to be, you don't want to be hitting stones with your lawnmower blade. It's not good. And we'll talk about that as we get closer. A little bit of lawn and garden equipment maintenance I can help you out with, so you're not replacing that stuff all the time. So this is the moment. It is the shining moment after we've come through some of the nastiest weather this winter. We actually had a great Canadian winter, and as if you haven't watched it already, Skippy and I headed out onto the ice and showed you Lake Erie frozen with ice castles and caverns and stuff, that the water along the water's edge, before the lake freezes, it pounds it and turns it into ice sculptures. It's pretty cool. Very cool. But this year, the entire lake froze, which is something I haven't seen since I moved down here on the South Shores of Lake Erie in 2005. So if you haven't watched that video, we put that up as a treat for all of you, wherever you are and wherever you're tuning in from. Take a moment, go into our website, carconnectionbusinessnetwork.com, and I always put all that information, all the need-to-know information and further details about your automobile. I plant those in the description of our YouTube videos and also in our podcast. So take the time to go through all those details, where you will pick up a lot more information that will help you to be a better caregiver to that automobile that you own. And the best vehicle in the driveway, especially right now, is the vehicle that is bought and paid for. You want to take really, really good care of that. So we skipped out of the shop shooting videos several weeks ago and went out to the lake and shot a really cool video showing you the frozen Lake Erie as far as your eyes could see. The whole lake is still relatively covered with ice right now. The ice boom that is in the Niagara River, at the mouth of Lake Erie and the Niagara River, that'll probably stay in until, I would imagine, late June, early July. So there's two ways for you to own a car. Two ways. There's only two ways. One being living in the unknown, not knowing what's going to go next on the automobile, and just kind of guessing and taking a deep breath when you fire it up and head down the roadway, assuming that everything's okay. That is a very high stress level right there. Living in the know is going to create a lot less stress, giving you peace of mind and freedom. And someone once said to me, Motormouth, you cannot put a price tag on peace of mind. And that, my friends, is so true. And when it comes to the automobile, it's better, trust me, after 44 years in the automotive repair and service industry, and I'm still licensed, still hands-on, still in there doing the job. And that's one thing that I have seen over and over and over and over and over again, is people getting so cranked when the car breaks. And the first question I ask is, well, when was the last time you really, really spent some money on your vehicle? If you can't answer like this, then that tells me they're thinking about it. They're going to try and develop some kind of answer that they think I want to hear that makes them look not so bad. But they've already given me the answer, because usually if it's husband and wife have dropped the car off and they're going to drive into work together or whatever, share a car for the day, they'll generally look at one another and the ESPN is not really working, and then they'll say, well, It's been a while. It's been a while. Then I will ask, well, roughly speaking, if you were to put a length of time on that while, what would that approximately be, do you think? A month? 3 months? 6 months? A year? Year and a half? 2 years? And if I haven't received an answer and I'm into 2 years, the answer is they've done nothing to the car, but they expect it to last a lifetime and not have to put a penny into it. But if tickets for the front row concert of one of their favorite groups comes up, they'll splash the cash down for that and ignore the car. Or that emergency chicken wing, pizza, and cold snack evening with friends and blow out $200-300. It's better to do that than spend money on the car. Yeah. And I'm not here to sell you anything. Nothing at all. I'm here to help educate you, because you can save a lot of money and own and operate an older automobile, but you're going to have to do something in order to get to the desired results, which is a lot less stress. You know for sure that the vehicle's in tip-top working order. And the other thing you have to have is you have to have a great mechanic to work with. You've got to have what I call the solid gold mechanic that doesn't wait for your car to break. He helps you stop it from breaking in the first place. That's the tech you want to work with. And that would be me, but I'm not taking clients. The clients we have, I have to fix it, do the videos, explain it to you, Lucy, and in simple terms, so that you can learn and understand a great deal about your automobile without being a rocket scientist. And this video that's going to come out, in fact, yesterday, I think Skippy might have had a revelation on what it means to check and verify the condition of your front end suspension and steering components, which I talked about yesterday. That's your lifeline, folks. That is your lifeline. And in that video, I show you in detail. So I stripped that car out right in front of you. And we did it in 6 takes. So not 6 takes and 1 video. We did 6 videos. So that way you didn't get a 2-hour video and you get bored and you shut it off. That's not what I want you to do. I'm giving you bite-sized chunks, 15, 20 minutes tops, so that you can see it in segments and you can mentally absorb it a lot quicker that way, and I'm not taking up too much of your time. So you could watch, say, part 1 and part 2, come back to the channel, watch part 3, part 4, and then come back for the final 2 segments and the wrap-up. So you're getting a bird's eye view. What does it mean when the ball joint's worn out? What does it mean when the control arm bushings are starting to come apart? What does it mean when I've got a sway bar link that's got a problem? It's not working right. Or a tie rod end. Or a this or a that. Wheel bearing. Brakes. It's all tied in together. And because the roadways today, after you see that video, that we've already scheduled the first 2 segments to go up. It'll be a week after Easter, which is coming up very quickly. So keep an eye on our channel, because we video ahead of time. So that way it takes a little bit of pressure off of my videographer Skippy and I, that we've got videos in the bank. So when we shoot new ones, we're ahead of ourselves. That way we're not running behind. And we've been there, and it's too stressful. We have to be ahead of things. So in spring maintenance, those are the areas that need to be tended to. And don't think for a minute there's nothing. Well, it feels okay. Yeah, it probably does, because steering suspension components don't instantly break. unless they're already worn right out. And in this video, you're going to see that, the vehicle was in a shop about a year ago, a little more over a year, maybe closer to a year and a half, and how fast components can wear out. Now, in this particular vehicle, the one side I would say definitely was not good a year and a half ago based on the mileage difference between when it was in the shop and where it is now, where the odometer reads right now. So in all my years of experience, the driver's side lower ball joint, and you get to see that. As a matter of fact, I have a short to put up today that will show you. I'm actually talking about the lower control arm and showing you what a ball joint is on that control arm and why it's worn out. So you get to see all that. The video's coming out. The focus is on suspension and steering because many of you have worn out steering and suspension components, but because it comes on so gradually, you don't notice your steering sucks. There is stuff going on. And the other part of that story is you have no idea what happens when a steering component breaks because it's worn out. What happens at that point? Well, I explain that and show you in the videos that we just shot yesterday. And as I said, those will be out the week after Easter. So not next week, the following week. We'll begin to load those in. We have 6 parts. And you're going to see a bird's eye view of everything in the suspension and steering that will pertain to your vehicle and why spring maintenance is so critical to look the entire vehicle over and make a plan and strategize on where the vehicle's at health-wise so there's no surprises. So when summer hits and you want to hit the road with the kids to the cottage or, family cottage, camping, tenting, whatever it may be, you'll be out there on the roadways enjoying the summer. And the last thing you want is to have a vehicle on the side of the road. You're waiting 4 hours for roadside assistance to come and haul you in. You're out of town. You're away from your home mechanic. I'm painting the picture. And now you don't know if you're going to get taken advantage of somewhere, and it's on a weekend. Shops are closed. So now you're really stuck. Really, really stuck. And that can put a poo-poo on your getaway very, very quickly. So how do we avoid that? That's why spring vehicle maintenance is the starting point. It is the Rubicon, my friends. When spring gets here, we cross that Rubicon, we get our vehicles checked, we need and want to know the good, the bad, and the ugly. So that way you can strategize your finances on getting the vehicle back into gear. Bringing that maintenance up to where it needs to be, A spring cleaning in your home. What do you generally do? Well, that's when you do the ugly stuff, right? The stove gets pulled out, the fridge gets pulled out. You suck up all the Pomeranians under there and whatever else, and you go, oh, that's where the fly swatter went. Oh, yeah, no wonder. There's a whole collection of them here. Yeah, and that's where you find stuff that just disappeared. And then you pull out the couches, you pull the chairs all out from the wall. Am I giving you a picture? I used to do house cleaning. I did. I really enjoyed it, actually. And I had some great clients. The ladies treated me extremely well, and I didn't miss a nook or cranny at all in any room. And I literally did that all the time. Was if I saw, some Pomeranians growing up around a chair, I would just take a minute and pull that out and get behind it and clean that up. But it's this time of year when, my calendar would explode with, I need a deep spring cleaning. When can you book me in? Yeah, and I'm there for the day. Like I'm bunking in, and my customers were really good. I really enjoyed it. It was actually therapeutic for me. It really was. I enjoyed the work, I enjoyed the cleaning, and I enjoyed my clients. It was really good. So now I'm telling you how we need to do a deep spring evaluation of your automobile so you reduce the opportunity for the vehicle to mess up and poo-poo that first long weekend quick getaway as a practice for the summer. You want that pressure off of you. And this is the lane that I have been carving out and have been carving it out for over 40 years. And now with more ways for you to watch, listen, and engage is going to help you get to living in the know with your automobile and having that mental peace of mind and freedom. And I'm going to share that phrase with you. You cannot put a price tag on peace of mind. Peace of mind. And I think if you asked Skippy today after watching me tear out the front end of this 2010 Dodge Caravan, that she kind of got a really good bird's eye view. There's a lot of stuff going on in that suspension and steering. And there was a narrow miss of there being a serious safety related problem causing a wreck, a vehicle wreck. So that's why I'm telling you, 99% of the time, even though it starts and it rolls and it turns left and it turns right, does not mean that that car is 100% healthy. Not true. 90% of the $200 repair that ends up being a $5,000 repair could have been held at about $200 had you come in sooner. I can't tell you, friends, the number of times I've had to break that to the customer because they ask me, well, how did this happen? Well, this is how I would explain it, exactly the same, verbatim. Well, if you had to come in sooner than later, we could have saved you a lot of money. A lot of money in unnecessary repairs. But because it's gone from cause to effect, now there's this, and this that wouldn't have needed to be done if we would have just been able to focus in on this repair. All of this would not have occurred. So that's why having a solid gold mechanic that you can trust, that's not taking care of your wallet, but is actually taking care, and you've given the authority to check your vehicle over thoroughly anytime it's in the shop. So you go in there for a flat repair, you say, look, could you give it a once over while it's in and let me know if it needs anything. That's your peace of mind, folks. What gives you mental stress is when I have to tell you, when you ask me, well, how did this happen? Well, had you come in sooner, we could have avoided all this. That doesn't taste good, does it? Absolutely not. That's why it is so important that your vehicle is looked after by the same group of fellas, because they get to know your car. For all you flavor of the month customers, I never wanted customers at my own shop. Customers look for the coupon, they look for the deal, and they look for the flavor of the month. Those were some of the worst vehicles to ever get my hands on. Then I learned, if they weren't my client, if they didn't go from being a customer that was referred to me into a client, I wasn't interested in working on their piece of junk. Yeah, I know that's a little harsh, but that's true. Because I look around and I just go, who the stink has been in here? And I ain't touching it, because as soon as you touch it, you own it. I'd sooner kick it down the road. because all the shoddy workmanship that I see, soon as I touch the car, they're off the hook. It's all on my shoulders. No, thank you. I don't have time for that. I want to spend time with my clients, my good people that are loyal to my business. So I'm saying that to say, find a shop, find a service tech you can trust and you feel comfortable with, and let him go. Don't tie his hands and his feet. Let him go and let him inspect your vehicle every time it's in. You give him that rein. As long as you have that relationship where, you know what, if Joe calls and says, hey, we got a problem here, and especially today with cameras and videos, you don't have to go driving down to the shop. We can shoot a 3-minute video like a YouTube short, fire it over to you, and you can see what it is we're pointing out. Saves you 1,000 steps today, which is amazing. It's absolutely amazing in our industry of automotive service and repair that we can do that. Shoot a video, fire it over. You can see exactly what we're explaining and hear the audio at the same time, and you didn't have to get out of your chair and drive down to the shop to have a looky-see. Yeah, a peekaboo. We used to call it, come into the shop, let's have a looky-see together and what's going on. And now we can do that with our phones. It's pretty cool. But again, you've got to have that working relationship with a steady shop. So not going here for that, over here, oh, he's $10 off an oil change. Oh, buddy's doing free tire rotations. Nuh-uh. Your car's going to be a pile of scrap. Because I've seen it over and over again. Over and over and over and over again. You need to find that solid gold mechanic that you can say, hey, Joe, when I got it in today, can you give it a really good go over and let me know if there's anything we should be made aware of, and we can make plans to get that stuff done. You're not authorizing them to spend $1 million. You're just saying and giving him the freedom to look it over for you, to stay ahead of the curve. Because 90% of the time you have no idea that something is really going on because you don't know what you don't know. And as my professor would say, you don't know what you don't know. That's why you don't have. Because if you knew it, you knew you'd have it. And to know it and not do it means you never knew it in the first place. So that's not where you want to be. You want to be in the know. And you want to know that your tech has the authorization to check your vehicle over, make a list of what's needed now, the near future, and the distant future. Now, if you had a car connection fleet maintenance service system in your hands, you would be able to track all that ahead of time and say, Joe, I need you to do this, 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 and this for me when the car's in. And if you see anything beyond the list for today of services my vehicle needs, would you please give me a call and let me know? So if you have the time to get it done, I can authorize that. That's all you got to say. You don't give them a blank check. If you don't have that relationship with a solid gold tech, you don't want to give them a blank check. And that's how you do it. And you make sure that all those things that you've written down off of your car connection fleet maintenance system is on your list and numbered so they can put sequences on the work order, and that's what you're authorizing. And you make sure they put on their customer requests a check over and a courtesy call. And then you sign it. So then now the shop is held accountable because it's on paper. We are going to be talking about, it's been requested to talk about repair and service orders and service repair times. We will do that in another show. Well, that about wraps up today. You want to get your spring vehicle cleanup done and the maintenance tidied up. And how are you going to do that? You're going to book your vehicle in for a spring maintenance evaluation. I used to always call it my multi-point vehicle inspection. It works every day of the year. Doesn't matter what season it is. Multi-point vehicle inspection. And my customers would ask me for that. Now, can you give it a multi-point? Done. I'll put it right on the work order. Multi-point vehicle inspection. Done. And we'll make a list. If we see anything super serious, we'll give you a jingle and let you know what's going on. If not, we'll talk about what we have found and make a game plan when you come pick it up to set another day to bring it in and take care of the items that we do find. But if it's something major, your phone will ring. If your phone doesn't ring, and with today, text, email, whatever works for you, method, I'll send you a message. I'll get it to you ASAP as soon as we know. If we find something that is a safety-related item or something that could cause serious engine or transmission damage. So till tomorrow, the question I leave with you, how long would your car last if you actually followed a proper maintenance plan? That's your question. Okay, Fridays. Friday's coming. Fun Friday, and it's a Good Friday as well. So I will be putting out a podcast, and it will be a fun Friday as well. Q&A for Saturday. If you don't know what that is, joining us, you're a newbie. That's great. Q&A is 1 hour of questions and answers. So I pluck 3 questions that out of the email questions that I get, and I figure that would be of good value to all ears listening, and I answer those in the podcast on Saturday. So Friday is Fun Fridays every week, and we talk about stuff. And on Saturday, it's Q&A, but you got to get your questions into me in advance, okay? So take a moment, send me an email. If you don't know where my email is, go into our website, click on the info tab, then you'll see a list, a menu will drop down, click on contact, and there's a website form right there. Bing, bang, boom. Or you can look in any one of our YouTube videos in the description box, or any of our podcasts in the description box. I put my email addresses there so that you can quickly grab what you need. So it's Niall@ccbusnet.com or motormouth.jenkins, just how it sounds, Jenkins, motormouth.jenkins@gmail.com. Have it a good day. Yeah, have it a good day today. Make it a great day. Happy, healthy motoring. Peace, patience, and kindness always. Thanks for joining us this morning. We'll see you again tomorrow morning for more of the Motormouth 8 a.m. drive. Be safe out there. Adjust your driving speed and habits to the road conditions. Could be a little hectic out there with heavy rains in the area in the Niagara region. So till tomorrow, keep it under 100. Put the coffee on. We're going to come to your house.